Hey there, everybody. It's Chris Widener. And as I do most days now, it's 12 o'clock Eastern. So I'm going live with my new show called Revive Your Life, where we talk about revival, which means to come to life again or to bring to life again. And each and every day, Monday through Friday, we're going to be talking about ways that you can revive your faith, revive your business, revive your marriage, revive your relationships, and revive your health, revive your mental edge. If you've missed some of these, you can just scroll down and you can see past episodes. But today I want to talk to you about igniting your heart. Now, these are specifically they're good. They're good for anybody, but they are specifically for Christian business people, and how to find God at work in your life, how to bring God back into your life and your work and your relationships and those kinds of things. And today I want to talk to you about igniting your heart. I've noticed with myself and with lots of people that I've coached over the years. I do coaching for Christian entrepreneurs, business people. In fact, you can see at the bottom there, it says if you want to take your faith, business, life, and relationships to the next level, just go to chriswidenercoaching.com, set up a free 30-minute consultation. Happy to do with you where we can take a look at where you're at and where you want to go to, see if it might be a good fit. But as I've worked with other people and I've seen in my own life, it's really easy to get busy and it's really easy to get myopic, right? To only be looking at your work, your family, your life, this little thing that you look at, and to not look elsewhere. Now, granted, we live in a time where there's all sorts of stuff going on. We are bombarded constantly with causes and advertising messages, and to some degree, doing this we kind of need to do. But one of the things that I've found is I don't think that the modern Christian thinks much about anything outside of their own little world. And I think it's important for us to do that. Now, how does that relate to igniting your heart? Well, if life's going pretty good for you, then you just kind of feel pretty good. And we sort of ignore what's going on in the world. And so I challenge people to look at things and study things and be involved in things that will touch your heart, that will touch your heart for compassion, for love, for kindness, for grace. And there's lots of different ways to do that. But today I want to tell you about a way that I do that. Um, I've lived a pretty good life. God has blessed me tremendously. There's been times that I've been broke, and there's been times that I've made tons and tons of money and lived in mansions and the whole thing, driven my favorite cars and all those kinds of things. And when you're successful, particularly, you can lose sight of the fact that there is a world around us where people aren't experiencing that. Yeah, we can be reminded as we're getting off the freeway from our big job, going to our big house after work, where we might see a homeless person. But what do? We kind of just turn and look, stare straight ahead. And we forget that there's this world around us. And one of the things that I do, and one of the things that is particular to my heart, and this is an important sort of parenthetical point here, find something that touches your heart. The things that touch my heart may not touch your heart. The things that touch your heart may not touch my heart. Find something that touches your heart, that ignites your heart with love and grace and kindness and compassion. And I want to tell you about a group as an example, but also something that you may want to be get involved with. It's called Voice of the Martyrs. And Voice of the Martyrs has been around, I don't know, 40, 50 years. I first heard about them when I was in Bible college. And still to this month, I get their monthly magazine. Yes, they actually still produce a magazine, and it's called Voice of the Martyrs. And I just want to show you this magazine. It's called Voice of the Martyrs. I get it every month. And it's not long. It's maybe 16 pages or something like that. But inside each issue, you can see this issue has a family. They're from Sri Lanka. Radiant and Unashamed, it's called. And in these magazines, here's another one that I see here. and I think this is one of their workers from Voice of the Martyrs. These folks are all over the world, particularly in areas where Christianity is illegal or where there's a lot of persecution. This one has some articles, tortured by the KGB, bearing witness behind bars, and those kinds of things. I just read an issue and I gave it to my wife to read, so I don't have it up here, but it was 3 women. The whole 16 pages was a story of 3 women whose husbands were murdered for their faith in these countries, and how they continued on, and how they became witnesses of Christ in spite of these horrific things that happened to them. I look forward to that magazine more than any other thing I get to read every month. On one hand, it breaks your heart to realize that as blessed as we are, that there are people, our brothers and sisters, they are our brothers and sisters. We will be in heaven with these folks. That we have brothers and sisters all around the world. You know, we wake up and we think, oh boy, how's the traffic going to be? I hope it's not bad traffic. These are brothers and sisters who wake up and say, is this the day they come for us? Is this the day they steal our possessions? Is this the day they burn down our homes or our churches? Is this the day that they kill us? And that's very real. And I don't know why, in God's grand scheme of things, that this touches my heart so much, but it does, and it ignites my heart. I'm kind of tearing up a little bit just even thinking about it. When I read those 3 stories in the latest issue of Voice of the Martyrs, of those women whose husbands were killed, at the end of every chapter, I said, Lord, make my heart like these women's hearts. Give me the faith of these women. How can I help? I donate every month to the Voice of the Martyrs. It's just on auto payment. You can find them. I believe it's persecution.org. And I'm not telling you necessarily to raise money for them or whatever, but it is good. If you're concerned about those things, it's a great way to help a great organization that's been around for a long time. But maybe what touches your heart is foster children. Maybe it's criminals who are behind bars, who made mistakes that they're now paying the consequences of, and paying society back. Maybe it's widows. Maybe it's orphans. Maybe it's poor people. I don't know what it is, but one of the things that we can do to ignite our heart is to let our heart be touched by the things that touches God's heart. And remember, at the tail end of Matthew, I think chapter 25, he talks about the sheep and the goats, and I'm paraphrasing at this point, but we say, you know, when did we see you, Lord, and didn't help? And he talks about the prisoner, and he talks about the orphan, and he talks about the poor. And again, I'm paraphrasing, so I don't know that I'm getting exactly right. When you saw the least of these, you saw me. And so I would just encourage you, maybe you don't know where to start, but I would just say, Lord, show me. Just show me. Give me a passion above and beyond my work and my family. Give me a passion for those who I can help. And I'm telling you, folks, when you get involved in something like that, when God touches your heart for people who need help, for whom you have a greater life in the natural, people would look at you and say, well, you're rich and wealthy, and you've got a great home and a great career and all those kinds of things. But you take time for those who Jesus calls the least of these. There's something that God does in your heart. He ignites your heart. And I just want to challenge you today, excuse me, to just lay that before God. God, show me where your heart is. And I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit will begin to prompt you. And the Holy Spirit will begin to touch you. And the Holy Spirit will begin to show you. Maybe it's people who are dying of terminal diseases, and you can just go and be in the hospital with them and be their friend. Maybe it's widows who are lonely at nursing homes, or widowers who are lonely at nursing. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you open your heart and you allow God to ignite your heart for something above and beyond that which would only serve you. So that's my message today. If you want to revive your life, revive your heart. And the way you revive your heart is you ignite your heart. And the way you ignite your heart is you ask God to show you What is it that you want to touch my heart with? That's my message for today. I hope that it challenges you. I hope it encourages you. And again, if you're interested in having somebody walk through these issues with you and mentor you and coach you, be sure to jump on over to Chris Widener Coaching and set up your free 30-minute call. If you're interested in donating to our ministry, you probably have seen that little QR code up there. All you have to do is shoot that on your camera, and it'll take you right to a donation page. You can make a recurring gift or a one-time gift to help us in our ministry of bringing revival to our country. But with that, folks, I'm going to let you go, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.